लगाना पड़ेगा लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग के लिए, ये लगा लीजिए सिर्फ ये लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग के लिए।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाह। Oh, it's coming from here. Okay.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
Bismillah, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. Wa na'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. My dear Muslims, Alhamdulillah, let me start off with a wonderful story, as I always do in my khutbahs. We had a masjid open house at the MSI Masjid 2 weeks ago. We invited many neighbors. So many people came there, many Hindus came there, right? From the Hindu background, African American, Caucasians, Latinos. So we had the social hour, then we had the food, and then we have the lecture, then we had the Q&A, then we gave them the gifts. And the whole function was over, and we were about to wrap up, and then we were about to go back home. As we were about to leave the masjid, we found out that there is a non-Muslim lady. She's just sitting in the masjid. She's not willing to leave. It looks so awkward. So we went up to her and we asked her the question, my dear sister, you came to the mosque. We welcome you all the time. How can we help you? So she said, I came here so I can embrace Islam. We said, Allahu Akbar. So we explained to her the 5 pillars and the 6 beliefs and a few questions that she had. And right on the spot, Alhamdulillah, she recited La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. When she was reciting the Shahada, what came to my mind is that I saw a news report in Yahoo. And they said that in mid-November, the population of the world is going to hit 8 billion. 8 billion, right? It's a big number. So out of the 8 billion people around the world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is choosing just a selected few, guiding them, and He's honoring them. And she's one of those individuals, alhamdulillah. Then not only He honored and guided her, He also honored and guided every single Muslim in this world. And we are about 2 million, not million actually, 2 billion of them. Alhamdulillah, right? That's a good number. That's a good number. But what does this honor entails? What does this honor, what does this responsibility, is there any responsibility to the guidance, the blessings and the honor that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us? See, this is also mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right after He's mentioning the honor, He's saying the responsibility that we have to carry on to fulfill this to fulfill this honor. And this is in Surah Al Imran, ayah number 110. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressing to all of us, He's saying, Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas ta'muruna bil ma'rufi wa tanhauna 'anil munkar wa tu'minuna billah. And the ayah continues that you are the best of ummah created for humanity, and now comes the responsibility because you enjoin good and you forbid evil and you believe in Allah. So that is the responsibility Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us, besides guiding us, blessing us, and honoring us. So what does it mean that we are supposed to be having enjoining good and forbidding evil responsibility? So that means we as Muslims, with the blessings Allah has given to us, we are supposed to peacefully, proactively become action-oriented individuals, and we are supposed to have a positive impact on the society. So that is our mission. Yes, we have so many other obligations that as Muslims we are supposed to be doing. We have to have families, we have to have a roof on the top of our heads, we have to pay the bills, food for our families, other hobbies that we have. All those things, yes, we are supposed to be doing, building masajid, taking care of the poor, the hungry, homeless. All of these things are the responsibilities of Muslims. But when we look at the impact that we are supposed to be having on the society, that was the mission of every prophet, every single messenger. Not only they were recipients of the wahi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they made sure not only they conveyed that message, but proactively they developed a team, and that team was having an impact on the society to change the society for the better. So for that reason, we see every single prophet, they came with that mission. Not only the prophets and the messengers, even the companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they realized that Islam is not only for Makkah and Medina, it is for all of humanity. So with their person, with their resources and time, and their money and their sacrifices, they had an impact on the society. Now, when we look at what are the ways that we can have the impact, what are the ills of the society that we should be tackling, a long list of items comes to our mind. Some of them, all of you may be aware if you are watching the news, right, as all of us are, you have the breakdown of the family structure. More than 50% of the marriages, they end up in divorce. 38% of the households in this country, they are run by single parent, either moms or dads. 40,000 suicides in this country. The drug abuse is rampant. Drunk driving is rampant. Right? Gambling. Every city now wants to have a casino so they can make some money. But all of these are negligible when it comes to the rampant atheism which is increasing in this country, or around the world, I should say. According to Pew Research survey, or one survey, I need to find out which exactly, 5% of the Arabs, they are either agnostics or they're atheists. That's alarming. According to the Pew Research survey, in this country, 23% of those Muslims born and raised as Muslims, they no longer identify as Muslims anymore. That's alarming, my dear brothers, my dear sisters. On top of it, let's not forget the LGBT, which is growing like fire around this country, around the world, unfortunately. In 2017, it was about 43% of the Muslims in this country, they used to say, it is okay if they want to live like that, they have the right. Allah just made it that way. Now that percentage recently has risen to 53% of the Muslims, especially the Muslim youth are saying, it is okay if they are like that, let them be like that. However, it is important for us to know that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed us as the spiritual doctors of the society, what are some of the ways we can have the impact and tackle these social ills? To my mind, there are two different ways that we can tackle. Well, there are many different ways. One way that we can say is, forget about them. We are Muslims, we want to pray, we want to build the masajis, we want to do our charity work. Allah will forgive us, inshallah we'll go to paradise. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Second way of doing it would be, okay, let's build masajis and our organizations and our Islamic schools and have social justice and the humanitarian work and the youth work, and let's invest in this. And that is the way moving forward for us Muslims in this country. Negligibly, less than 2% of our resources, financial resources, I would say, goes towards dawah or connecting humanity with the Creator. Less than 2% of it. Because when I calculated the budget of some bigger masajis, I cannot say about this masjid, about the council, many councils around the country, less than 2% of our budget, our financial resources, goes towards tackling Islamophobia, fighting in a structured way, the ills of the society. And then we complain, I complain, right? You complain sometimes. How come there is so much Islamophobia out there? It is because me and you and the Muslims in general, we are not tackling it. So if we invest less amount, we can have less impact. That's just a simple math. So the two ways that we can have an impact on the society, as I mentioned, two options comes to my mind. One way would be the way that we are doing it, right? Building the masajis. Yes, we need to build more masajis. May Allah give barakah to the what is the number? 248, right? The masjid, I'm not sure there is a name to it. Masjid al-Nur, mashallah, right? May Allah help us to establish that and many more masajis and make those masajis as a dawah centers so we can enlighten the whole humanity with these masajis and not just only as a place for prayer. Ameen. So that's one model that we have that we are currently going through. But what was the prophetic model? What was the model of all the prophets and all the messengers? See, during the time of Yusuf alayhi salam, right? Lut alayhi salam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, any prophet, any messenger, they all used to face many challenges in their society. They used to have idol worship. They used to have Christianity, which is, Trinity worship. They used to have LGBT during their time. So they used to have anything that we are going through to smaller and greater degree. They all used to go through these challenges. So it is nothing new for us that what we are facing. So what is the prophetic model? See, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to fight for social justice against the oppression, against all of these ills, but the biggest amount of time and the resources and his concern used to be enlightening people and correcting their aqidah. From the non-Muslims, I'm saying, right? Don't worship humans and idols and the creation, the sun, the moon, and the animals. Only worship the one creator. For 13 long years, that was his primary message in Makkah. Even in Medina, that was the primary message. So yes, he used to fight the fires around him, but then he realized, obviously with Allah's guidance, that the best way to tackle all of these fires is to let people know that there is a creator who created all of us. Humanity is one family. There should not be any racism. He empowered the freed slaves. He empowered the women. And he made people realize that Allah is watching. If we do the right things, follow the guidance, there would be immense reward. There would be paradise, description of paradise. If we don't follow, the description of the hellfire, the intense punishment, may Allah save all of us from it. All of these were mentioned. So in that way, the society was rectified. So once people moved towards realizing a higher power and the purpose in life, following the guidance, how to go to salvation, all of these ills, alhamdulillah, they went away one by one. And all of you know the way that Islam tackled alcoholism, intoxicants, back in the 7th century. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sent many ayahs of the Quran, like Surah Baqarah, ayah number 219. The translation is that there is for the intoxicants and for gambling, there is a small benefit, but the harms outweigh the benefits. And this is for people to ponder. Then Surah Nisa ayah number 43 came, that when you are in the state of drunkenness, do not come to the prayer. And then many ayahs and many ways that the Prophet was making their mind towards giving up alcohol. So ultimately, when Surah Maida ayah number 90 came, that intoxicants are shaitan's handiwork, stay away from it, shun it, people just gave up alcohol. They became the most sober of all the societies. So what I'm trying to say is that yes, we can continue what we are doing, but the prophetic model is that he used to invest 98% of his time, the resources, his concern, the finances, preparing the team to make sure the society knows that there is a creator. What is the guidance? Many a times when I think about my neighbors, my colleagues, my classmates, right, or any non-Muslim that I meet, I would always think that how would my neighbor know that Islam also came for him or her? How would they know it? Unless and until we tell them. See, unless and until we think that Islam is only for the Muslims, that's fine, then we can only keep Islam to ourselves. But if we know, and surely we should know it, because Allah mentioned in the Quran that Islam came as a hudal linnas. Quran came as guidance for all of humanity. Surah Baqarah ayah number 185 says that شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. That in the month of Ramadan, the Quran was revealed as a guidance for all of humanity and is a criteria to distinguish between right and wrong. If we know the Quran is for all of humanity, that means we have to actively convey the message to them. And lastly, really important, all of these social ills which I mentioned, and there are many more out there. When we look at other communities, other faiths, other races, other religions, other ideologies, every single one of them, they have thrown in the towel. They gave up on it. When we look into the Christian community overall, I'm saying, right, with a few exceptions here and there, they are now having, LGBT priests in their churches. Now they are okaying all of these, rainbow signs in the churches around their communities. So they have thrown in the towel. The Hindus have done the same. Jews have overall, they have done the same. The last standing force, my dear Muslims, is none other than you and me. So that's a big responsibility that we have. So that responsibility of enjoining good, forbidding evil, connecting humanity with the Creator is not given to the Jews, the Christians, the Hindus, the atheists. It belongs to you and me. If we fulfill this responsibility, the grand mission Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us. So the name of that grand mission is, in one word, is dawah. Means letting humanity know the bigger picture of our existence. Who is the Creator? What is the purpose of life? What guidance to follow? What is the way to salvation? If you need to give one word to it, that would be dawah, inviting humanity. Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal mau'izati al hasanati wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan. Surah 16, ayah number 125. So there is a great mission in front of us. We should and we can continue building masajis, but make our masajis dawah centers. But masajid should not be the only entities to do dawah by open houses. MashaAllah, we had a good open house over here. Every single Muslim should become an active da'i. Dawah should become part of our life. Why are we saying this, right? Because for our own neck on the day of judgment. For our own, accountability on the day of judgment. For our own children, our youth who are going to come after us, they may question us. Mom and dad and grandfather and all the masajis, you guys had the opportunity, the freedom is still there. You had the responsibility, you had the resources, right? MashaAllah, we are raising like millions of dollars. May Allah give us more barakah to us. But if we invest only 2% into dawah and thinking the whole world is going to be, away from Islamophobia, that's wishful thinking. So Alhamdulillah, I hope and pray that every single one of us become part and parcel of it. One of those organizations, Alhamdulillah, is Gain Peace. MashaAllah, all of you, this masjid, many masajid are supporting it. So I'm here on behalf of Gain Peace to appeal to every single one of you that 13th of November, day after tomorrow, we have a fundraiser coming. Please come there. But today we also have opportunity in the lobby for you to donate, inshallah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us and give us the wisdom, the education, the tawfiq, and the courage so we can share the message of Islam to all of humanity. May Allah unify the Muslim Ummah and make us ambassadors of Islam to all of humanity. أقول قولي هذا بس. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد ونعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آخر السلام.
الله أكبر الله